It seems like you're trying to Photoshop history,
failure at the time.
Mr. Toth. The point is that it wasn't a betrayal at the time.
Yeah.
It was intentional at the time. It was
Representative,
purposeful
I'm actually reading
at the
from
time.
the amendment. You're interjecting words that are not in this amendment.
Right. Mr. Toth, your amendment is the same as the rest of your bill, which is a whitewashing of history. It's shielding our students from the truth about the founding of our country. And the only way for students to develop a true patriotism, a true love of country, not a puppy love, not a crush on America, to develop a true love of country means you have to accept every part of our history, the good, bad, and the ugly. Is that right?
I think I've been saying that since we started laying out the bill.
You may be saying it up at the front mic when you're trying to get the rest of us to vote on it, but it's not what your amendment says, and it's not what your bill says. Representative Toth, you're putting restrictions about how we can talk about race. If we talk about race in a civics classroom, we've got to say that the founders didn't mean it. It was an innocent mistake. It doesn't live up. It's not part of our authentic principles. Would you be open to an amendment requiring that in civics classrooms we teach the history of racism and white supremacy, and that we teach our students that it's morally wrong? Would you be open to something like that?
We already are teaching that. We should teach that. And throughout this document, it talks about the fact that slavery existed and that it was wrong and that it was evil.
And so you'd be open to an amendment?
No, I'm not open to an amendment.
You're not open to an amendment condemning white supremacy in our civics classrooms? This is a simple question, Mr. Toth. Are you open to an amendment condemning white supremacy in our civics classrooms?
White supremacy, in what context would you like to discuss it?
Mr. Toth, it's troubling that you're having to ask a clarifying question. It's an easy yes.
If we're
trying to condemn white supremacy and its role in American history, you shouldn't have to quibble over a definition,
If you're going to say that white
Mr.
supremacy is systemic in the United States today, is that what you're trying to say? Is that I want to understand what you want for your amendment to do?
I would like our amendment to teach the history of white supremacy in the history of our country and teach students that it is morally wrong. That's all I want to do.
Slavery, in the history of slavery, is immoral and wrong. And we need to continue to say that.
And so the role that white supremacy played in the founding of our country, we should condemn that. Take your time.
Representative, if you'll work with Mr. Kane, we'll look at something. How's that?
I think it should be easy to commit to this on the front mic, but I'd be happy to work on some language.
Gentleman's time's expired.
All about.
It seems like you're trying to